Aloha, hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii Group Real Broker, and I'm with,
Lance Owens with LUVA Real Estate here in the Big Island.
right, and we are discussing the West Hawaii statistics today. And it is a nice, cool day today. We've had a crazy week with some weather this week. So you guys are going to actually not see rain coming back at us from behind us like I had the other day happening with Eric. So you guys are going to be
My
prepared.
paper's blowing
Yeah,
away.
blowing. I go, and our hair is
Holding
going
on
nuts. Because this is live, guys. We're doing this out on the, I call it the 365 Sunset Lanai. So Lance is one of our constant guests. So let's see.
I'm your longest running correspondent, huh?
We've been doing this for 5 years.
At least, yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
The longest running real estate show on the island of Hawaii.
There you go.
See?
We need to make some claims that we deserve, I think.
I know.
It's like-
We're the OG.
Yes, exactly. There's others walking in our shadow. But
That's right. And you guys always know that you're going to get the coolest lowdown, and also you're probably going to get some sprinkling in of Lance's extracurricular government affairs activities, so you get a chance to actually understand the issues as they affect the island as well. So not only maybe he'll tell you a little bit about that, what's going on, but we're going to talk about what's happening with the market now that is our first episode of the new year. Happy 2024. And what's going on with the market, Lance?
What's going on in the market? So it seems to be, you get this by the seat of your pants feel. I always talk about that versus the black and white numbers, but we like to use black and white numbers all the time. It feels like we're slowing some. I get that feeling. I go out and look, and it just doesn't seem to be as crazy as it was.
Yeah.
But that seat of the pants thing's a little bit hard right now because I've been traveling a lot the last 2 months. So it's I got to concentrate or depend on a little bit more of the black and white numbers to kind of look at things.
Okay.
So when I pulled up numbers today, I'm like, okay, what does that say about this year and last year? And it's, well, December of 2022, we were already getting hit with the high interest rates, and it had slowed us. So it's really not a good barometer to use. So I went back to 21
Okay.
to look, and then I went back to 19
Okay.
to look. So
Okay.
these are island-wide numbers, so because that's the only stats that they say back that far. So I'm looking at right now. So let's just say average days on the market for the Big Island right now is 43 days for a median for a home, single-family home.
Okay.
So 43 days. So what do you think it was in 21?
Around the same.
42 days.
Ah, there we go.
There you go. What do you think it was in 2019?
Around the same. 96.
96 days
Wow.
in the average market.
Okay.
So we got a lot of these new realtors that are like, they wonder why somebody would sign a 6-month or 1-year listing agreement, because the average days used to be a little over 3 months.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the average.
Yeah.
So it could go up a lot more than that.
So why do you think in 2019 it was that the houses were sitting on the market for so long?
It was a normal market. It takes a few months. Homes didn't sell. We've all adapted to this crazy high-speed freeway. It's like we've been in Germany or something on an autobahn.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
never been
And back
there,
in 2019 also the interest rates were still like where there should be like 6%. Five, maybe 5.5.
Five, and I think probably it'd be
Yeah.
a good one to look up. Next
Yeah,
time. We'll have to
because
talk
if
about that.
things were going, if people were just where they thought they would be, they were like, yeah, maybe I'll buy a house this year, maybe I won't. And then all of a sudden, boom, the interest rates go to 2 to 3%. The
Oh, yeah.
pandemic happens. Everyone decides that they're going to get up and move.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we have Armageddon. And so now we're crawling slowly out of Armageddon hell into normal interest rates, which are 6.5%, right? And people who've pulled out of the market are now saying, I still need a place to live.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And sellers, in fact, you made a joke the other day about people who have been living with spouses they don't really want to live with anymore, might be leaving now. I just got a call from a friend who says, I'm getting my new listing, and I'm like, Jana, what's going on? She's like, oh, they're getting divorced. I go, Lance called that one.
Yeah.
And so things are still cranking, moving.
Yeah, things are still
things
moving.
are happening, yeah.
Lawrence Yun, who I like to watch a lot. I think he's one of the best economists that we have. And,
Right, that's from National Association of Realtors.
Yeah. And he's, he kind of predicts it too. And some of his comments recently was that the rental market numbers, which is kind of offsetting some of the inflationary numbers that we're looking at.
Okay.
So, and he says if they really were using true numbers that came from everything, that we would actually our inflation is decreasing a lot more than what you see on the news and things like that.
Well, today
So,
they said the inflation hit 3.8%.
yeah. So,
That's bad.
yeah.
that doesn't bode well for rate cuts in January, February, or March.
I know. It's so hard. So, it's interesting. So his prediction is that it's gonna be a slow year.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be getting back towards normal.
Okay. An even year.
Yeah,
you could say.
Yeah, an even year. So if you're looking at, again, if we look at December 2023, new listings was 184.
Right.
I'm sorry, 225. 225. You know what they were? They were 235.
A year ago.
2019. In a normal market.
Okay.
That's where we go back.
Okay.
You guys are gonna see it. Let's look at 21, December 21. There were 204 new listings.
Okay.
So we got 225, 204, 235. Okay. I mean, 22 was 184 new listings. That's when it really shot up, right? And people were like, no, I'm not getting rid of my 2% loan and selling this and jumping up to that. And then it just kept going. They might have wished they would have done it then. Yeah. Because now prices have still gone up and interest rates have come back down to where it was a year ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
today. People were saying that people aren't going to sell their houses because they're trapped in 2 or 3% interest rates, right? We're now the second Thursday of the month when we have broker tour here in West White. They have had such low inventory for so long on these tours that they only have, let's say, like 7, 8 houses to see. Let's just say this week they had so many houses come on the market all at the same time. They actually bifurcated the tour and focused on South Kona today with 14 listings.
Yep. And last week
was
more north, and this week was south.
Right.
There are more things coming on the market. The longer days on the market, but 43 versus 42, or it's really weird.
But it looks like people, and again, I don't know if this is the last gasp of sellers trying to catch those high prices before the interest rates. But get this, if the interest rates come down, we'll have more buyers in the market, right?
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be a rush to get rid of your house, but maybe people thought, okay, it's new year, new me, I'm going to do something different. But having that many new houses on the market all at the same time, it's like, oh, wow. Or maybe we're trying to catch the snowbirds that are in town, which is normal for January.
Yeah,
right?
A lot of people want to get through the holidays, so you got to slowing down. They don't want, whatever holiday they're celebrating, they don't want all the decorations out and people interrupting them. They got family in from the mainland.
Right.
You had your family in, I had our family in, we had everybody in.
Right, and then we put a listing on the market on the 2nd.
Yeah, and I just remember how that just killed us one year. We had a client in a subdivision that was... it was 2 or 3, and average had been going for about 6 months like that. And they're like, okay, we want to list it. We got it all ready the beginning of December, and they said, no, we don't want to do it. We want to wait until January 1st. So we waited. 9 new listings came up that week in the same subdivision, and there was 2 old ones still there.
Yeah.
So we were competing now with 13, or 12 or 13. For some reason, I remember 13. So my numbers might be off a little bit there. But there was, we sat on the market. This one had a little bit better view. This one had a little bit bigger yard. We had a lot of nice things on our package too, but the other ones were getting pulled out, And
so how long did you have to wait?
So I had a 6-month listing.
6 months.
And then we were 5 months and 26 days in.
Ooh.
Before we got into escrow and we got and we closed it. We sold it.
Yeah.
And everybody's happy.
Yeah. But 5 months.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy I'm selling his house. He said, well, how long have you had to wait for a house to sell in your career? Which hasn't been very long. It's been about 1.5 years. However, I've had at least 5 listings, and they've all gone off the market within a week. And so that's the market, right? So now things are slowing down.
Yeah.
So that's what's kind of like, it's interesting because people keep saying, if you've been in the market just in the last 2 years, you're not in the right market. Because everything's like this, you don't have to work that hard. Oh my God, there's like business everywhere.
Yeah.
But this last year has been a slow one for most people, just because there hasn't been a lot of inventory and there hasn't been a lot of buyers. So now I think the buyers are starting to come back a little bit because they see interest rates coming down. And sellers are now obviously with some more listings on the market saying, now's the time to like put my house on the market. So it kind of like gives buyers something to eat, and choose from, and the sellers get a chance to say, you know what, maybe there's some more rabid buyer activity that might help keep their prices high. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really a sit and wait because we just don't. There's no predicting the future of what's going on here. Interestingly, there's 95 active today. We've been
Okay.
running 80s and 90s for months now.
Okay, so there's
we
still
don't
more
have a
95.
ton more
Okay.
homes available.
Okay.
Condos have jumped up. There's 73 condos on the market right now. I just ran it before I came here.
Okay.
So that's quite a bit higher.
Yeah.
We're running 40s. We were selling 40 or 50 a month.
Yeah.
Interestingly, what really surprised me is there was only 14 condos sold last month.
Ooh.
So that is what happened. Why? What's going on? We got to watch that one a little bit closer. So,
Okay, so when you say 14 sold last month, how many normally sell?
we used to get up around 35, 40, 45 sometimes.
Okay.
If we look at the prior year, it was 23. And so quite a bit more.
Yeah,
a
that's
third
a-
more almost.
Right,
Not
that's
quite,
a
but
thing. Okay.
yeah. And looking at that, so it's interesting because there was, somebody could do the math. Last year, 421 sold for the year.
Right.
Year to date, this year, 322 sold.
Oh.
So that's 199.
Less.
No, sorry, 101. It's late in the day, and
Yeah,
it's been
there
a
you
long
go, there
day.
you go.
So it's 100 difference,
Yeah,
So,
but I'll
so out
tell
of
you
400,
guys,
that's a quarter.
I
right?
watch these realtors going, okay, I got this condo on the market. I've got an oceanfront condo right down there, $1 million something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, $1 million for that. And so,
That's
okay, let's see what the prices are now.
Okay, so that brings up the next question. So what do you think they sold at sale price to original list price condos?
97.
You're close, 98.9.
Okay.
98.9.
Because they're getting it.
Price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was median, and average was 98.25. So
Okay.
98%.
Yeah.
And then
That shows strong demand.
yeah,
You don't have to lower your price
they're
that
not
much.
lowering their price.
Yeah.
There's very little. The median from sale to current price and median on sale to original price is exactly the same, 98.9%.
Okay.
So yeah,
So what's the days on market for the condos?
average days on market is 30, median's 10.
That's fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now this is 3-7. So
Okay.
that's Kona.
Okay, that's
All right.
But the condos, the market,
That's those
the ones on the lead.
right down
Okay.
here. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's them.
yeah, the ones right over down the way. Yeah.
Yeah. So median price was, jump over to that, was 570 versus 575 a year ago. So year to date, I like to look at is 552.5 versus 550 a year ago year to date. So we got a 0.5% increase in price.
Okay.
So that's flat. It's a flat market
Yeah,
in
but it's
condos,
like-
and flat all year.
I don't see a lot of inexpensive, affordable condos going on the market right now. It seems like everyone's putting out these really nice, renovated, expensive condos.
I know, but there's only 14 sold.
Okay, well,
Yeah, so that kind of
maybe
explains it
maybe
too.
there's the market's not.
Yeah, so let's see what's happening here because we got 73 on the market right now. That's
Yeah.
a lot. Well, it's not a lot. We should have 130.
Yeah,
Okay?
okay.
So we're only halfway there. But if the demand is lower and it's starting to increase, could affect the overall price.
Okay. Yeah.
It's supply and demand. Everything's supply and demand.
Right.
So let's see. Supply is coming up.
Okay.
Median. You know what? We didn't.
You didn't
look
talk
at-
about the median price for a single family house.
No, but
That's
let me
always the
just
shock
look
factor.
at days on market. So for the Islandwide in condominiums is 28 days Islandwide, and then in 2019 condos sat on the market for 89 days, so 3 months, 90 days, 89 days. So they sat on the market for 3 months versus less than a month right now.
Okay.
So.
Well,
And that was in 2019. We all consider a normal market.
Right.
There was no lava flows in 2018. There was no tsunamis. There was no. We haven't had hurricanes for a while, but there was none of that that stuff going on. So
the anomaly of life.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's a good year to use as a base point. 2019.
Okay.
So thought that was interesting. So
The last normal year.
yeah, the last normal year. We haven't had a lot of them in the 20 years I've been doing this. So there's always something going on in the world.
Yes.
So we had last month was $999,500 was a median price. So it's only the third time this year we've been under a
Under
million.
a million, yeah.
Yeah, so $500 under a million. And a year ago it was 1125.
Okay.
Let's look at year to date. Last year it was 1,076,000, and this year it's 1.15 million year to date. So year to date's up 7.8%.
Okay. That's about kind of what they said was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're predicting something like that this year
7.8%.
too. So.
And condos relatively flat. You can't call it 0.5%.
Right.
It's not even inflation, right?
Okay. Right.
You said 3 point something.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. 3.8.
Yeah.
Okay, but get this.
Okay.
If the average price is $5, whatever. Okay, it's like if you have East to White, you got the low end houses selling 175, 300, which is pulling down the price pretty much from the other houses are selling for like 6 and 7, 800,000, right? We don't have really inexpensive things for sale here. They're pulling down that price. So is it truly that the prices really are 5 something?
Well, I mean, that's what it's telling us, right? If I look at the Islandwide number for condos, let's look at the Islandwide number for condominiums. So Islandwide, there was only 30 condominiums sold. So almost half of them were sold here in Kailua-Kona.
Okay. Because we have most of them, yeah.
Yeah, we have most of them in Waikoloa. You don't see many in Hilo. If I look at South Hilo, condos, 2 sold.
Okay.
Condos, 0 sold in North Hilo, and Hamakua, 0. South Kohala had 14.
Okay.
So we had 14. South Kohala had 14.
Okay.
So they may be holding us, holding our prices
up.
Well,
Yeah,
because they're not
those
cheaper.
are $3 million condos over there. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, like $1.2 million in one, in like Waikoloa and.
Yeah, and well, you got a lot of them still in the 8s and 9s
Yeah.
too out there. So we have that, but yeah,
Like,
so interesting. Yeah.
well, there are some 1-1 selling in downtown that, are 379, I guess 400. The 1-1s and things like that. So okay. Anyway, moving on. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was just
and
like
it does
looking
include leasehold and everything else.
which
too.
means at least it's staying below the 600 mark, which is
yeah,
good.
yeah,
So,
for a solid year. So
yeah, that's good.
interestingly too, let's jump over. So how many 1031 exchanges happened?
Oh yeah, if you guys remember from our conversation last time,
Yeah.
Lance was showing us that the Surfing Rocket was the place to invest in.
The 1031, yeah.
Yes, but you're saying only one.
Only one. So out of the 14 sales last month, 7 were cash. So 50% were cash. 0 were VA loans, and 1 was a 1031
There you go.
loan. And
So
why do I
mortgages
have
still have-
7
7.
and conventional 6? I'm sorry. And 2 agents that don't know how to report. They put cash and conventional, and they put cash and 1031. We all know it takes cash to close a deal.
Yeah.
There's no, so, but yeah, so we
Okay.
kind of got to shuffle that. But 7 of them were just flat out cash.
Oh, there we go. It's funny because I was talking to Amber yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And she was kind of like mumbling about how agents put the information in incorrectly.
Yeah.
And we are talking about garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
And so it's funny that you said that. I
Yeah,
was trying to get
yeah.
clearer stats, and you're like, oh, well,
Clear
the person who
stat.
put it in, Yeah.
I do have to tell you that this is the most accurate reporting, and I've looked at a lot of other companies out there that report it, including Zillow and Redfin and many of the others. There's nothing more accurate than this. I mean, agents get fined for putting it in
Yeah,
there
that's what I'm saying.
wrong.
I do it up right as
Yeah.
soon as they tell me you better do it right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know somebody that just got sent to training on Oahu because they weren't doing.
Really? Like consistently,
Like-
then all of a sudden they go, okay, that's enough. You probably don't know what you're
No,
doing.
like one time.
One time?
Yeah, so it's very, very strict. There's very heavy fines
Yeah.
that can be implemented, and it can be from training requirements and things like that. So really, I grumble about those 2 agents that didn't input it correctly. Really, it's our best way to count it.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about garbage in, garbage out, like that UHERO report. They when I ask them, like, why is this so much different than reality? Because here's reality, and they're like, well, because we only use deed sales reported by the tax office. Well, that's a terrible barometer to use. That includes all kinds of family transfers.
Yeah, that never even hit the
everything
open
else.
market. And they
Never hit
mess
the
up
open market. There's only a portion of it. It's things like that. And I just happened to pull up Kanaloa
Yeah.
last year. I was doing comps for a client, and I looked at all the sales, including deed sales and stuff like that. And the average in Condo is 800 to 1.4 million is what we see in there, and there was 2 or 3 in there under $500,000. There were deed sales that were they were doing tax juggling. They were taking it from their trust to an LLC. All these things that really skew the numbers. So that's not open market real pricing.
There you go.
So it is. So
there you go. Now
a shout out to the MLS.
Put that
this
in
is
your
the
number
one place to find this information.
Okay. So
on homes, we didn't jump in homes.
Yes,
real quick. Of the 34 homes that sold, 11 were cash. Highest one was 18 million. It was cash.
Wow.
3 VAs, 0 1031s.
Okay. 18 million cash. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good day.
For the agent.
When you can write a check.
Damn. Good deal for you for writing the check, and good day for the agent.
Yeah. But I think that's it. Was there any other data we missed? Nothing? No. I think we're good.
No. Is anybody on our Facebook group?
They were there, but nobody's got any questions or anything.
Because we haven't asked them yet.
No.
Does anybody have any questions for Lance?
I will say this, just to throw back to old times. Brad is here.
Hey, Brad!
And Brad says aloha to the 3 of us.
Hey!
All right,
Hello. We were asking Michael, is Brad still alive?
Yeah.
What happened to Brad?
So there you go.
Okay. Anybody else you want to shout out?
Robert Hampson is here.
Robert!
Hey, Robert.
Robert just had a back surgery, so I'm glad that you're feeling good.
Is Desi from yesterday from the mortgage.
Oh, Desi, you're on top of it. There you go.
On top of that.
You're going to learn so much if you watch The Mortgage, because she watched The Mortgage one we did on Tuesday. You missed the East one, and now you're here on the West one. So you're going to get a ton of information from what's happening with statistics and how to handle getting a mortgage just from this week's content alone. So if you haven't seen The Mortgage one we did, Joe Egan rocked it on Tuesday. Cool. So if you haven't seen that one, on our YouTube channel.
2 days ago, Tuesday?
2 days ago,
okay,
Tuesday.
I was out of town. So.
And he was talking about the tiered approach to the Fed of lowering the interest rates and how to get prepared and doing strategy. So really good information. And speaking of strategy, let's give these people a little bit of something. Knowing what's happening now, there's what we're talking about with the even-ish market. Do you have any ideas for like what they should be expecting to do with themselves over the next few months? Like, do they wait for rates to drop? Do they get in now? Keep an eye on what's happening with the active market. What do you suggest?
Well, yeah, I mean, considering that the home values went up 8% this year and condos are flat, what are you buying? Are you buying a home or are you buying a condo?
Yeah.
Where's interest rates going? I think, most people are saying they're going to be bouncing really close to where they are all year. I don't know what Joe said. I missed that.
He said it's going like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, there's a rumor that the Feds are going to cut the interest rates 5 times this year. But when they get the saddening news that inflation went 3.8%, then that doesn't bode very well. So it's kind of like let's see how the consumers behave themselves, but they said a little bit lower. But the thing is that, as we know in life, you can't count on something you don't know.
No, so. I don't know. Joe knows more than I know. That's his business. And I go off of what the economist for NAR talks about, He expected it to kind of bounce. He did think we might get into the 5s by the end of the year.
Okay.
But again, here we are, second week, and we're at 3.
Yeah.
What'd you say, 3.8?
3.8.
3.8.
Yeah, that's not the 2% that they were hoping to put us at.
Yeah.
But also on the other side, it's not always just about mortgage rates.
No, it's not.
You said half the people bought for cash.
Yep.
So sometimes the mortgages don't actually have to.
It has nothing to do with the market, what's going on.
So can I throw out what I think that they could do too for themselves? I think that if you are seriously thinking about buying a house, cash or not, you should contact Lance or myself, and we can put you on a listing alert, and you can find out what's going on yourself on what's coming on the market and the price range that you're trying to buy in, right?
Yeah.
So you have a good feeling of kind of what's coming on, what's going off, and obviously keep tuning into what we're telling you. But if you have a really good idea of what it is that you want and you're in the position to buy something, don't wait. It's like when people say they go to Costco. The thing that you thought was going to be there next week might not be, so you might want to get the thing that you want now.
I bought a black chair and a white chair, brought home to show my wife, and she wanted the black one, right? And so I wanted a matching in her office. I went down there was no more black ones left.
And they're never going to come back again.
It came back, they said, we'll get some in next week, come back. So I came back next week, there was one left, and I got it.
So you did get it.
But it's like,
but that's what's interesting
I
about
should have bought 2 of each and then
then
return what I didn't
Yeah,
buy.
exactly. Because, just from like going out and looking at different homes now and, just being more involved with the market, we have so many interesting, unique homes here. You don't get a chance to have a tract home where you're like, oh, I saw that one, and 6 months later it's going to be like one just like it next door. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And so just because, and like we have some people saying, I'm going to come in March and April and we're going to look around and we want to see some open houses. I'm like, oh, just because you look at one open house one place does not mean you're going to find anything that looks just like that 2 months or 3 months later.
Yeah.
So
totally.
If you guys fall in love with something while you're here, and if you can get something, just know that the same thing doesn't always show up the next week. Next month or next year.
Yeah, it's funny because we've got somebody that's been watching us for many, many, many years, and I hope they're on here tonight. I don't like to mention names unless they say it's okay, but they are coming out in a week or so, and they've been watching for years, and it's done this, and it's like, okay, I'm 5 years older, things, a lot of things have happened in my life in the last 5 years. And we were looking, I was just at that, at the legislation week over in Honolulu Tuesday. It was interesting. One of the presenters was Burton, and he's been a realtor 30, 40 years, really good. I mean, it was just simple local style. He explained it to you, but he's like, $1 million home, that's the average, 9.9950. And, you put 20% down, it's $200,000. How much disposable income do you have a month to save that $200,000? You got $1,000 a month. It'll take you 20 years to save up that $200,000. Well, what's happened? That home is now $2 million. You've got kids in college now. You've got kids getting married. You've got kids having kids. You've got all these things that change. So it's kind of, when you're ready to do it, you need to do it. Quit trying to time it right. You need to get on the train, the roller coaster. It's a roller coaster is what it is.
Right.
It's,
and if you can, I hate to say this, but if you can stomach a condo, if you can't have a single family house, at least then you're in the market. Right, then at least you're floating with the boats of housing, prices.
And you're here.
And you're here. That's when
here.
Eric and I first bought a condo here, we had to get a 750 square foot condo, but it put us in Keauhou in a nice, safe neighborhood, and the kids grew up.
You walk into the beach.
Yeah,
they walk to the. How many? What were they? 1,000 feet from the bay?
Yeah, they walk right down to the bay. We had a beautiful life, and we had to live a little small. We had to live without some of the things that most people deal with, like 2 bathrooms. But we got here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you grow from there.
Exactly.
So I'm just going to say, you guys, if you're waiting for perfect, you might take a lot longer than you think, right? So
yeah,
there you go. That's my thought.
Totally. I waited for perfect. I was 40 years old before I bought my first home.
Yeah,
so,
40, huh? Yeah.
So.
Well, it took us, I'm 58, and we just moved into this house in March. So, but we had to go small before we can get to the point where we wanted to get. So life is long, too. So.
Yep.
Okay, so let me give you guys some info. Lance is going to be part of, I think so, the TTT next Thursday.
I hope so.
Okay, so third Thursday.
I just got invited to something on Oahu that I'm excited about. So I don't know the dates yet.
Yeah. Lance is working on our wastewater treatment experience here in Hawaii. But next Thursday, the 18th, we're having our all island real estate update and mortgage update. So this is something we offer the third Thursday of the month, and it's a Zoom call. So we have all the little Partridge family, what's it called, Brady Bunch experience of all the people around, and you guys can be part of it. The people
How
who
did they ever know, the Brady Bunch, that we would one day be
have it the Zoom look, and they're all waving to each other.
They saw the future. We need to ask them about housing.
Well, they're like the Jetsons, or we're talking to our phones. So that's coming up, and then also Lance and I give you guys the stats on the first Thursday of the month. If that doesn't typically if it does not fall on a 1, 2, or 3. So we try and get you guys far enough into the month to give you good stats. So follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also please reach out. Lance Owens.
We're realtors. We do this so that we have our pulse on the market. We know what's happening. We know what's going on. So when you ask questions, we're there. If you want to sit down and talk about, well, I'm in the 800 to 1 million range. Let's look at that. Let's sit down and let's zero in on that market. This is all pretty general here, but I've sat down with clients and I'm like, this is my price point, and we look at that price point of what has sold in that price point for the last year, 2 years. It'd be crazy to go back beyond 2 years, but it's you can do that and you can look at that, and that's what we do for a living. We help people buy and sell real estate.
And if you love statistics,
we don't get paid doing this.
Yeah, if you're a mathematician, analytical, that guy, call Lance. Lance is Mr. This right here. If you want the cheerleader experience of you getting into a house, call me.
And if you want us both, we work together on deals
That's
too.
right.
So,
Again, you guys can find our contact information below in the comments on the YouTube channel. Those of you on Facebook, thank you for joining us. You're in our group, and we totally appreciate you being part of our Ohana. And we will catch you guys next week on the Zoom and the next month. And also, after you guys, we're going to close this guy up and actually create a new piece of content with Lance. And we're going to be talking about retiring on the Big Island of Hawaii. And we're going to give you 5 solutions to some of the problems that people perceive about moving here and retiring. So you're going to give you we're going to solve some of those issues by telling you some tips and tricks you're going to want to know. So there you go. So catch that on YouTube. No, the YouTube, we're going to do that on the YouTube channel. So that, don't forget, the YouTube channel is for people over here on Facebook, 365 Hawaii Real Estate Minute. And that name actually came up because you suggested it 5 years ago. So there we go. We're still doing it.
And,
yeah, did I tell you I patented it?
Yeah.
Trademarked
No.
it? No.
Desi says mahalo.
There you go.
Oh,
Yes. And
thank
you could like
you.
Desi. I'm hoping that you're going to be a new home buyer. And also, if the Padres ever get a chance to see this, we close on their house tomorrow morning. And they are very nice people who actually have 3 children going to school here. And they transitioned to a nice house that they could afford. And they're county workers. And they are so damn happy. They get their keys
That's
tomorrow
so
morning and they
exciting,
get a
huh?
chance to
Yeah.
move in. And they had an incredible transaction on both sides. The other agent was so cool. The seller was so cool. The buyers are cool. The kind of people that we want to work
That's
with.
what you
So
want,
I
yeah.
hope that we can help you guys have the same experience.
And then Cheryl says, she says, mahalo and see you on Monday.
Oh, that's Cheryl Grinnell, right? Okay, good. So we'll get a chance to have a little. I think we're meeting at Magic's. That's how we do our thing. So if you guys want to meet with us personally, we take you out to lunch. Okay, you guys.
All right.
Aloha.
Aloha.